Sheila Klinker, District 27, State Representative, Lafayette, West Lafayette, Indiana. I think very honestly that Governor Pence had no idea of the ramifications and the feelings that people would have.
So I called the State House and they said we could use the steps. And she asked me how many people I expected, and I said, well, hopefully 100.
The governor and his supermajority spend their time saying that this bill isn't important, it doesn't matter.
Explain yourself!
Yeah.
Explain yourself!
They say it does nothing.
Right.
Well, they're not telling the truth, and that isn't why they passed it. That's right. Why would you push a bill through and then sign it in a private ceremony if it didn't matter?
Steps in the state house.
Let's be clear. This law does not openly allow discrimination. No, what it does is it creates a roadmap, a path to get us to discrimination. That's the purpose of it. When the bill was going through the legislature, I offered 2 amendments that would have recognized the compelling interest that our state has in preventing discrimination. It also would have protected local ordinances that bar discrimination. Both of these amendments were defeated. They did this in direct response to the legalization of same-sex marriage in the
Love has the ability to heal us, and love will carry my wife and my daughter past this point, and love will carry you.
Now, treating someone decently, treating someone equally under the law, doesn't constitute giving your religious approval.
Yeah. Human rights are more important than religious rights.
We just want everyone to be able to eat in the same restaurant, rent the same apartment.
This bill has the audacity to say that it is substantially burdened, that business owners and other people are substantially burdened by me, by you, that they should be able to put us out. What about our substantial burden? What about the burden of having to look over my shoulder everywhere I go? Someone invites me to dinner, I gotta say, hang on, let me look up the restaurant.
Yes. All of a sudden, the governor and our elected Republican legislators are telling you that you don't understand the bill.
Right.
That you're not smart enough to get it.
Right.
That they understand it and they'll explain it to you when they get a chance.
Right.
Well, I'm here to tell you, you do understand that bill. That bill is legal discrimination, plain and simple, blind and front.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like.
As a state rep, having been there 30 years, I have never seen this type of reaction to a bill. I've seen a lot of reactions to bills, but never have I seen this type of disagreement or fear, actual fear of losing our businesses and being mocked, as the New York Times said, as a stupid state. Now, when you see Alcoa, the Indiana State Chamber of Commerce, Eli Lilly, Cummins, and Columbus, many of our very large corporations telling us not to do this, you have to stand up and listen. when you start to see a multiple effect like this bill has had, it worries every state legislator, and that's why you had Senator Tim Lannon, the minority leader of the Senate, and Scott Pelath, our minority leader in the House, calling for repeal immediately of this bill.
If they're going to take a Band-Aid approach, there's not a lot of confidence that they're going to get it right. The only practical solution is to repeal the whole thing.
Now, you know, Governor Pence has taken a very strong stance against that.
You know, I stand by this law.
I think he's made some promises to certain people that lost the same-sex marriage in the Constitution fight.
This is Governor Pence signing the Religious Freedom Act last Thursday. He is surrounded by a group of lobbyists who helped write the law. This is Kurt Smith. He heads the Indiana Family Institute. Smith claims the gay community has no life beyond, quote, absorption with narcissistic sex. And he helped write the bill. This is Micah Clark. He is the executive director of Indiana's American Family Association. He believes that homosexuality is a, quote, treatable disorder. And finally, standing directly behind the governor is a man named Eric Miller. He heads the powerful anti-gay group Advance America. Their website states the Religious Freedom Restoration Act will help protect individuals, Christian businesses, and churches from those supporting homosexual marriages and those supporting government recognition and approval of gender identity, parentheses, male cross-dressers. By way of an example, Advance America offers this. Christian bakers, florists, and photographers should not be punished for refusing to participate in a homosexual marriage.
And this is sort of a way to maybe make those people feel that they have accomplished something. When you make Saturday Night Live.
The governor of Indiana has signed a new law allowing businesses to turn away gay and lesbian customers, saying it's part of their religious freedom. You'll be able to tell which stores are supporting the new law because they'll have these helpful little signs.
That worries me. I think that he is finding out that this state will not work with this legislation.
So this is a yes or no question. Is Advance America right when they say a florist in Indiana can now refuse to serve a gay couple without fear of punishment?
Well, let me explain to you the
yes
purpose
or no?
of this.
If a florist in Indiana refuses to serve a gay couple at their wedding, is that legal now in Indiana?
George, this is where this debate has gone.
It said it would protect a Christian florist who against any kind of punishment. Is that true or not?
George, look, the issue here is, you know, is tolerance a two-way street or not? Two-way street.
So when you say tolerance is a two-way street, does that mean that Christians who want to refuse service, or people of any other faith who want to refuse service to gays and lesbians, that it's now legal in the state of Indiana? That's a simple yes or no question.
George, the question here is if there is a government
yes or no
action
question, Governor. Do you think it should be legal in the state of Indiana to discriminate against gays or lesbians?
George,
it's a yes or no question. Yes or no, should it be legal to discriminate against gays and lesbians?
George, you're following the mantra of the last week online, and you're trying to make this issue about something else.
I learned from the workers here at this restaurant that they agree with Governor Pence and the signing of this bill. They say they have a right to believe in their religion and protect those ideals.
If a gay couple was to come in, like say they wanted us to provide them pizzas for a wedding, we would have to say no. We're a Christian establishment.
They pride themselves in owning a business that reflects their religious beliefs.
We're not discriminating against anyone. It's just that's our belief.
People are backing away from coming here. The Salesforce.com said they wouldn't send any of their people into this state.
Salesforce is the largest tech employer in the state of Indiana. Right after this law was signed, you canceled all company events there. You dramatically limited employee travel to the state of Indiana. Will Salesforce pull out completely from Indiana?
Well, honestly, we can't pull out completely, and out of Indiana. I mean, we have a very large presence there, and we have thousands of employees. But what we can do is we can say that you need to protect our employees and our customers that we are bringing to Indiana, and that laws like the ones that we saw passed last week by Governor Pence are not acceptable. This law is brutal, it's unfair, it's unjust, and it has to change. You know, on one side, we're rallying the world's CEOs to let the state of Indiana know that they're going to reduce investment in Indiana dramatically. On the other side, we have very good cooperative and collaborative conversations going on with the governor of Indiana and the mayor of Indianapolis and the legislature to try to find a resolution for this.
Mark, you're the CEO of a huge, huge tech company. What do economic sanctions against Indiana look like in dollar signs?
Well, you see it from Salesforce's perspectives, where we've already stopped travel into Indiana, we've stopped investment into Indiana. You see it from the...
But I'm talking about how many millions, billions, what are we looking at across the board?
Well, I think you're already seeing tens of millions, and I think we're about to move into hundreds of millions.
Now, that's a worry for all of us. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you are worried.
Indianapolis will not be defined by this. Indianapolis will not be defined by this. Indianapolis welcomes everybody. Thank you for coming out this afternoon.
Many people feel threatened by this legislation, as well as maybe feeling that they will be discriminated against in the future.
Who in the hell does Mike Pence think he is pushing the Religious Freedom Act? Now see, I got a small problem with that. Actually, honey, I have a big problem because I am the biggest gay in the United States of America.
This guy throws a wrench into the monkey works. I'm sorry, this guy throws a monkey wrench into the works. Into the works.
I abhor discrimination. I can tell you from my heart, if I was in a restaurant and saw a business owner deny services to someone because they were gay, I wouldn't eat there anymore.
Governor, would you take it one step further and support a law that would make it illegal to discriminate based on someone's sexual orientation?
Well, let me say that's not been my position.
Now wait a minute, bitch.
He has said several times that giving gays and lesbians protected status is not part of his agenda. His 2000 campaign website called for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, not because Mike Pence thought Don't Ask, Don't Tell was hateful and discriminatory, but because he thought gays should be banned from the military, period, not just that they should be allowed as long as they don't reveal their homosexuality. And he also said he doesn't want to fund some AIDS programs unless the funding comes with the acceptance of forcing people to pray away the gay. And then in 2010, Mike Pence signed an open letter by the anti-gay hate group Family Research Council, which of course opposed gay marriage and wanted to protect what they called natural marriage. Mike Pence wants you to believe he's not anti-gay. He signs the bill, flanked by some of the biggest anti-gay bigots in Indiana, and he has signed letters by anti-gay hate groups. He is anti-gay and he is lying.
I would march in the street for his right to think what he wants and for him to have his own religious views. As a citizen, he's entitled to those. But I have a right to wave my arms around and flail and dance until my hand meets your nose, at which point I've interfered with your right to exist peacefully and happily. So we are all constrained in our rights as we operate in a plurality, in a pluralistic society. We've chosen to be Americans, which means we've chosen to have some of our rights constrained because we want to live in a diverse, free society. Freedom comes with responsibilities, and it comes with acknowledging the freedom of somebody else. And I don't think religious adherents are being oppressed in this state or in this nation. It's certain minorities that have been oppressed. and who haven't had the political and legislative voice to assert their own rights. And I think as freedom-loving Americans, we need to protect all of our brothers and sisters in enjoying the civil rights that we've all agreed are important.
This is limited to a government entity. So two private parties is not even a part of this bill at all. And everybody, almost all the examples they give, there's two private parties having a difference. And it ain't even part of the bill. It had nothing to do with it.
We begin with major new developments tonight regarding Angie's List, those plans to expand its East Side headquarters and add 1,000 jobs now on hold. Company leaders say the decision is a direct response to what it's calling Indiana's new anti-LGBT discrimination law.